live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. These are the famous words of Swami Vivekananda, an Indian scholar of decades ago. But these words remain true and have been one of my life's purposes, and I think it rings true for many of you who are watching this. There's a lot of despair, frustration, sadness, and uncertainty as a country. But let's not forget what we've prevailed over, what we have achieved as a country and as a people, black, white, and any other color in between. As a country, we've achieved democracy and freedom, which was an impossibility in an apartheid state. It seemed virtually impossible. Those and the founding fathers of our country who sacrificed their lives and their families and their entire generations for decades did so with positive hope and dedication that we as a people will triumph, we as a people will succeed. I sincerely empathize with each and every one of you that's been affected, not just by the pandemic, but by the stress of the last few days that we've had in the country. The reality is, this is a short period of disruption, of a focus of where we are as a people, as a country. There are particular people who have a need to create such disruption and frustration in our country. But let's not focus on the agenda, because we can't control that. What you and I can focus on is what we as a family, as South Africans, can do. Because when people are incarcerated in Robben Island and elsewhere for decades, people lost their lives and continued to lose their lives. It was because they believed in hope for a better life for everyone, not as a political slogan, but as a better life so that we can change not just this generation, but the next one, and create a platform for success and prosperity and development. The world already knows that South Africa is a combination of first world and third world all in one. In one breath, we have 6-lane highways and amazing airports, and we have Table Mountain and amazing phenomenal resources and world-class mining systems and business infrastructure and healthcare facilities. But at exactly the same time, we have significant unemployment and poverty, and we also have a significant difference in resources. And that's not a today problem. That's been a problem we inherited pre-94. That was never solved during the CODERSA negotiations because they were difficult negotiations and some trade-offs had to be made. But as a people, we need to strive that every day we need to do a little each day, not just for ourselves, not just for our families, but for our community and our societies. So that when you go to sleep, you know you've helped one more, just one more. And yes, you may be struggling on your own, and I agree. But when you have some measure of access to make a difference, please do. I appeal to you, please do. Because you cannot go to sleep on a full tummy if your neighbor's hungry. You cannot go to sleep in comfort when you know your people around you are struggling. And you don't have to go far. Don't go look for a community to contribute. Look to your helpers. Look to your staff. Look to your neighbors. Look to your friends. Look to your family. Because there are those who make it overtly clear that they're struggling. But there are then those who struggle in silence, in clear silence, because they're too ashamed to admit their difficulties. But I appeal to you, please come forward. There are those of us, I and many others, who can help, who want to help, because we believe in a better tomorrow. We believe in a better South Africa as a beacon and champion for a better Africa and a better world. We cannot look to solve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, as laudable as they are, if we cannot unite first and we don't remain positive. The goals are amazing, and I'm 100% dedicated, specifically in my line of work, to healthcare. But healthcare cannot be solved, i.e. in a pandemic or otherwise, with our healthcare needs in Africa, until we solve the social determinants of health. And these determinants are exactly good clean water, nutrition, access to resources, access to work, access to opportunities, equal access to opportunities, sustainable systems, circular economies in which we reduce our waste and focus on sustaining the world as we sustain ourselves. But we need to do this actively. We need to do this unitedly. We should not be seen as working in little pockets, because that is when we become accustomed and become vulnerable to abuse by political agendas, other agendas, and people who want to misdirect our attention and our focus. Success doesn't happen overnight. Freedom wasn't gained in our country and democracy overnight. But it takes dedicated work. It takes a little bit every day. First, changing mindsets. And before changing mindsets, change hearts. Believe that love and community will be the underpinning principle of what unites us as a people. Because I dread to think what is happening in communities because of fear. But if we have dedication and love for each other as a community and as a people, we'll change that view, because we'll stop seeing each other at face value, at color, at melanin. But we'll see each other as human beings. Yes, there are desperate communities at this point, across the country, across the color lines, across locations. But there are large criminal elements abusing these processes, and larger powers that be that are influencing that. But if we as the people on the ground, the common man, the common South African, make a concerted effort to contribute, to change this narrative to be positive, and focus on what we can change, then we will change, we will improve. And we must improve, and we must prevail, and we must triumph. Because at this distressing time, we need to work together to save our country, to save our people, and to grow as a prosperous nation, as one united people. Stay